learn the platform. So I'm very patient. You guys maybe feel a little awkward or clunky. That'll get better with time. And we just really want to have fun and explore what Fantasy Grounds can do, and also kind of enjoy a little bit of the game itself too. We're going to play for about 3 to 3.5 hours, depending on how things go. If you guys need to bow out early, let us know, and we'll have to work that in. But nonetheless, welcome everyone, and we're going to get started.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. So there is a town in the frontier. It doesn't matter which world it is in, but it's called Rabalka. And basically, they put out a call for new settlers. They don't have a lot of people that want to stay and live there because it's kind of out in the boonies and wilderness. I'm going to share an image, which is kind of gets you an idea of what the village looks like and how it's presented in the game. So I'm going to share this. And what it is like a frontier town that's sort of like a mixture between Viking and Native American is the way they describe the setting. It's very frontier-like, wilderness. It is wintertime. It's snowing. The snow's not really heavy. It's kind of a medium. You guys are staying at the Thirsty Serpent Inn, which is in a kind of like a log cabin type inn in the center of town. I'm going to share the village so you got an idea of what that looks like from the top. And you guys are staying at position number 2, which is where the Thirsty Serpent is. When we start the adventure, we will be down to the south in position number 1, which is where there's a walkway, a lookout there. And to the south of that is a cathedral where a lot of the townsfolk will be gathering later in the evening. So this is basically the layout. You don't have to keep the area map or the picture that I shared with you open. Those are just for kind of immersion, for role play. The main image you want to have open is the map that we had set up earlier. So you guys are basically met each other on a boat that came to Rabalka about maybe 4 or 5 days ago. You haven't been in town for very long, but from what you gathered from the short time that you've been here, you guys are all adventurers. You kind of met each other staying at this Thirsty Serpent Inn. The town itself seems to be moderately populated. At times it can seem very dead and quiet. Other times it seems kind of busy during the day. The general idea of why you were here was to maybe start over, turn a new leaf. They were giving incentives, so like you can get a free house basically to live here. So a lot of people are starting to, well, not say a lot, but some people are coming to Rabalka to resettle and to kind of start over or to start a new life here. The incentives were pretty good, so that's why most of you probably came here. Some of you might be here for adventure and that sort of thing, but most of you are here to kind of resettle and potentially live here. So you're kind of checking things out as you go. The village on this particular evening, they're going to have a vigil of light for a ceremony tonight to celebrate the return of the summer, the sun, because tonight is actually the shortest night of the year. So it is the winter solstice, so to speak. And a lot of the townsfolk that you noticed in the last couple hours are kind of gathering and moving towards the cathedral in the south of the town. And they're holding candles. So it's kind of like a tradition and a religious thing where they gather every year to celebrate this vigil of light. And they usually do that with a candle or some sort of light source. They see families kind of walking by the windows as you are resting in the inn. So just kind of paint a picture there. That's generally how this starts, is where you're in the Thirsty Serpent, probably having dinner or resting, maybe getting to know each other a little bit. There's a bartender and a few other villagers here, but over time, the villagers kind of get up and leave, and it looks like they head out towards the cathedral as the evening rolls on. So it's getting dark out, and you guys notice people getting up and leaving. So that's where we're at. So I'd like all of you to roll initiative just to kind of get that out of the way. So if you made that shortcut earlier, you can use that, or you can go to the front of your page and double click on the initiative roll. And that'll help set up the turn order so we're not talking over each other. So first things first, Braylon. You are sitting inside the Thirsty Serpent. You notice a lot of people are starting to leave and head out towards the temple.
All right, they're getting ready for like the festival and stuff.
Yes, so that's what you gather. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'd try to mingle in and see what's going on. You know, try to find an agenda, or what the order of the ceremonies are going to be, and see if I can ingratiate myself with maybe some of the patrons, or maybe the barkeep.
Okay, so I'd like you to roll a charisma or persuasion check in the dice tower. So go to your skills tab on your character sheet, and then look for persuasion, and then just drag and drop the result or the dice roll into the dice tower.
Into the dice tower. Okay, so I'm grabbing the number. All right.
Yep.
And then into the dice
just
tower.
dropping it. Yep. Very good. All right. So from what you can tell from asking around, is that there is a priest in town, a high priest. His name is Juriendor. He's the high priest of Rabalka. He runs the cathedral. It seems that this town in particular, they venerate a rather distant god of war, but it doesn't seem to be an overly strong presence. It seems like they're pretty tolerant of anyone else's deities, and they generally seem to be respectful of what others believe in. So it's not like a hardcore religious cult or something like that. They just have a main god that they venerate, which is a god of war, which is left over from a time before even the village was created. So it's one of those things where it's kind of left over from tradition. And you find out that tonight is the longest night of the year. The original inhabitants that had originally built the village used to hold a ritualistic ceremony on this day, and the day that this vigil of light was to ensure that the light would return after darkness reigned for so many months. So it's like a return of spring and summer type thing, and that's generally some of the information that you get from asking around. Anything else you'd like to say or do?
I think that's a great setup for the situation. Are we together? Are we a band?
I think loosely you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all newcomers. We were all eating at the same
place.
Same table, same place. Yep. And like you said, so the ceremonies are going to get started. Everybody's getting up, heading towards the temple. You said.
Yep.
Okay. What say you, friends? Should we when in Rome? Should we do as the Romans do?
So Rolf. All right. So Rolf is there with you guys as well as Gandrin. Gimbal, what are you up to? Are you there?
Who's Gimbal?
I don't know. Is
the person who didn't make it?
I think that's the person who didn't show up.
All right.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So I will.
I remember I was the last one to show up.
Yep.
And I chose Braylon, so I think
that's
Gimbal
okay.
was.
I'll take him off the thing.
There you go. So is Rolf or Gandrin from Rabalka?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If they are, it's nearby. I don't think they're from the town.
So we're all outsiders. All right.
For the most part. You might live in a neighboring, country or province, but
So I say we follow everybody towards the temple and see what's going on. This seems like a special occasion that only comes around once a year.
Yeah, you get the impression that the bar or the inn will close early anyways.
Oh, there you go. Last drink.
Yep.
Gandrin downs the rest of his pint, stands up and goes, "Let's do it."
Nice.
Okay. So you guys kind of start gathering together as a kind of a loose group. You're following the rest of the townsfolk through the village down to the south, and there's like this walkway and this watchtower that you walk by. And in the distance, you can see the tall building, which is the actual cathedral. It's kind of built in a traditional sense from the outside, from what you can tell. It has like a river rock base, and then up above that, maybe 10 feet or so is wood, and it has kind of that log cabin appeal, although a lot nicer. As you get closer, you notice there are some runes and such on the outside, which are not really magical runes, they're more like decorative, kind of tribal looking. I guess the motif would be sort of like a Viking, kind of like Odin type looking carvings. And the wood itself looks pretty well preserved, like it's standed the test of time. They've taken great lengths to, preserve the wood and, keep it from rotting. And it looks like the building is well constructed. Gandrin, do you want to make a stone cunning check? So what you would do is go to your character sheet, and you can on your skills tab and use the history, and you can add advantage to it if you like. And you do that by
added.
On the bottom underneath the chat window, there's an ADV button. So you click on that before you roll, and then just drag and drop your roll into the dice tower, and that will add or roll with advantage. All right, cool. So it dropped to 3, so that's good. All right, so from what you can see there, the stonework or the foundation looks like it's pretty well built for a bunch of humans. It doesn't look dwarven construction. So it looks like the building is pretty well put together for humans.
For humans.
Yeah.
He stands in front of it and kind of strokes his beard thoughtfully. Not bad, he says rather reluctantly. He doesn't want to admit it, but truth is truth.
Yeah, not too bad. It's not too shabby. And I pretty much would assume that you wouldn't want to set foot in any sort of structure that's not dwarven made, or at least comparable. You don't like the idea of stones. Yeah, you don't like the idea of stones raining down your head.
Exactly.
Especially during a calamity or war or earthquake or something. All right, so you all get kind of closer to the cathedral. You notice that there are large double doors, and if you refer to the map that I showed earlier, you'll see that you guys' there's tokens is outside of the actual cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
There are some villagers going in and out of the building. I'm going to they light some torches on the outside so that the walkway is a little bit more lit up as it gets dark out. And there's the big double doors have like big rings on them made of like probably iron or some sort of metal, and it looks like they open and close as they admit people in. So once at the front of this cathedral, the Geriander, you guys notice this when you're approaching, he pulls a long wooden torch from a wall, and he uses this large brazier to light. He goes inside momentarily, and he comes out and he lights those torches. So it kind of gives you this this feeling of warmth and kind of a like a welcoming light. It is rather cold out, I assume you guys are wearing some kind of cold weather gear, some sort, and you also notice that it's been kind of somber for the last hour or so. It may be something to do with the temple, but as you make or the event that's coming up, but as you make your way down the street, you realize the expected murmur of activity is missing from most festivals of this nature, and the settlement of Rabalka seems ominously quiet and cold as compared to what it's been in the last few days. Rounding a building, you spot a group of villagers carrying torches towards the large stone cathedral on the edge of town. Following, you see them rap on the doors, which are open for a brief moment, allowing a sound of voices to escape from within, along with some light and heat, which causes the air to steam a little. The interior of the building seems to be, from the glimpse that you got, it seems to be bathed in warm, inviting reds and oranges, sharply contrasting with the cold whites and blues of the snow and the ice that surrounds you in the outside darkness. So you kind of suddenly feel vulnerable standing out here pretty much alone or by yourselves. The final villagers round the bend and pass you, heading toward the cathedral, and they say, "Hey, you guys coming?" One of the women calls her from her voice, suggesting that any other choice would probably be madness.
Very cool. Real quick, why has the atmosphere gotten so somber? Is there a weird ceremony or any strange traditions that they do with this festival? Like I'm thinking, like, do they do sacrifices or something like that? Is there anything like that?
So maybe you're asking this. So one of the villagers will say, "Well, let's make haste. We'll talk when we've gained the comfort of the cathedral."
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah. So someone outside that's getting ready to go in is inviting you guys in. But that's a good question. Totally.
Yeah, every culture has some different, weird stuff.
Yeah.
Gandrin goes ahead and starts walking in.
Okay. So if you like, you can move your tokens. I'm going to open the doors. The tokens are locked at this point, so it kind of keeps track of your movement. I'm going to unlock the token movement for now until we get into combat, because it's annoying to have to keep approving the movement. So you can go ahead and file in.
Okay.
Like that?
Yep. And as you go inside, you will notice some pews.
All right. I'm not sure why.
Well, there's a door, another set of doors. Yeah.
I'm not able to grab him, though.
Well, part of that is because you don't have a mouse.
Let me see if I can do it.
No,
No,
usually
I
you can't. I'll have to move them for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
No worries.
Yeah. Next time, though, I do this, I'll say you need a mouse. That way, ahead of time. All right, so 10 feet on from the entrance, by an open pair of finely carved wooden doors, swings. You get this depiction of the rising sun. An imposing man greets each villager with a personal message or a guiding and assuring hand on the shoulder. As you get closer, you hear phrases such as "Evening, Mayor," or "Light be with you, Igor." He gives you a beaming smile not usually associated with portentous events, and says, "Well met, friends. We all are such tonight. Find a place to sit and enjoy the service. The day's dawn heralds new events for all of us. Yuri, seats for my compatriot." So he's asking somebody inside to find you guys a chair or somewhere to sit. So you guys are welcome to sit wherever you want, or pretend you're sitting somewhere in the pews. Where would you like Braylon to go?
I'm gonna sit next to my big friend Gandrum, like behind him.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah, that's perfect. Right, my back against the wall, pretty much, where I can see everything.
All right. So at this final call, a man looks up from halfway down the cathedral and beckons you forward. Places are found for you, and those close by offer greetings and ask for your names. The welcome is genuine and heartfelt, reflecting that the coming service is a period of warmth and rebirth. So it gives you, it doesn't feel too horrible. Doesn't feel like a ritualistic sacrifice is in order.
That was my worry.
Yeah. So the exterior of the cathedral, when you guys came in, looked like it was some gray stone and, the logs that I described. But the interior is a bit of a lustrous woodwork from local trees. There are simple branches which serve as pews, and they line the hall on both sides from front to back. A large fire on a raised plinth burns brightly, bathing the weathered and wrinkled faces of the villagers in a flickering, otherworldly orange glow. There seems to be like a large stained glass window at the very far east side of the cathedral. And you imagine that in the morning or in the early hours that the sun will shine through that window and kind of illuminate the place in colors. One of the villagers sitting nearby your group says, "The fire is never allowed to die. The crackling? 'Tis said to be the spirits of warriors long since passed from this world. They talk to us, not to warn or teach us, but help relive their glories so we remember the sacrifices they made for their children and grandchildren. War is never an easy affair. Those involved are swept up in a way oftentimes lost in the minds of our rulers. Here at Clavig's Edge, we recall those that brought light to our lives. To this day, they give us vision, warmth, and shelter. Juriander has shown us such things. Soon he'll arrive and share more wisdom." So that is basically the gist of how the ceremony kicks off. Is you have this semi-formal gathering, and it looks like Juriander and some of the acolytes are entering in from the back where you guys are sitting, and they're heading towards the plinth where there's a brazier type thing that's sitting in front of the stained glass window. One of the townsfolk says, "Guide us through the darkness so that there may be light." And the others begin to shout. And they shout such things as, "Juriander, please guide us." And stuff like, "Protect us from the dark wood devils. Bestow us with light." So, so that kind of catches your attention a little.
All right, it's getting a little lively in here. All right. Everybody's standing up and singing, praising.
Yep.
When the villager mentioned about what the brazier in the front represented, past warriors that have passed on, he gets a sad look in his eyes, and it's almost like he's not seeing what's there. He's seeing other things. And it's not until they start doing the chanting, guiding us through darkness, that he jerks like he was startled, like he just came back to reality.
That's cool. I do appreciate the role playing. That's really cool. So, let's see. One of the villagers whispers to one of you to kind of try to explain what's going on. Perhaps it is Rolf. You're sitting next to an elderly woman who kind of leans over and tries to explain kind of a little bit of what's going on here in regards to the ceremony. And not that you care or would listen, but nonetheless, apparently the priest, Juriander, he adopted the ceremony after experiencing some annual attacks from the Darkwood on this particular night. So traditionally, there had been some attacks that came out of the forests. Seems like a lot of the nocturnal animals and inhabitants take advantage of the shortest day of the year. So they tend to have problems around this time of year in the village. Except for recently, they've done a pretty good job of keeping that at bay. There were quite a few villagers that turned up missing or were killed. And there was a small boy whose father had later committed suicide because he lost his son. Supposedly, Juriander had felt responsible for that, and he wished he could have done a better job protecting the village. But there's threats that have come from the darkness of the Darkwood, which is kind of borders the town. But since adopting the ceremony in the last few years, there have been no more attacks, and the village has pretty much been kept safe. So that's one of the revelations that you get from talking to one of the locals.
Okay. That's key information. Thank you.
Yeah. So the lady kind of nods and smiles, and she says, I really hope that you guys decide if you want to stay and you can embrace this place as your own. And, we would definitely like to have you. There is another group called the Griffinwinds Gatherers. They are a fairly new group of individuals such as yourselves, adventurers. They are not present at the moment, but they have helped us in the past. They're visiting another nearby town, unfortunately. But they're another group of people who had come here to settle that have made a name for themselves. And a lot of the townsfolk are starting to like them. So because of the deeds that they have completed, they helped with some trade routes, and they've done a couple things for the village, and they actually fought off some bandits that had tried to waylay a caravan that was bound for Rybalka. So once at the front of the cathedral, Juriander pulls this long wooden torch from the wall. It momentarily glows as brightly as daylight, and everyone within the hall appears warm and comforted. The high priest chants a prayer, and all the villagers join him. It sounds complex, like a drone of intertwining ideas that seems more suited to like a shaman than a clergyman. After long minutes pass, the chant fades and a silence hangs heavy in the air. Then Juriander unclips a small wooden box from the back of his armor. The box is finely carved and looks quite old and worn. As he slowly lifts the lid, a dark gray stone begins to shine like crisp starlight, followed by a pulsing blue-yellow glow which envelops his face. Children in the crowd gasp and call out, "The moon shard!" But they're hushed quickly as the high priest raises the small glowing rock carefully from the box. Holding it high for all to see, he begins to call out words in a mystic language. With each powerful word, the moon shard grows brighter, the air humming with energy. The crowd of villagers parts as Juriander walks to the aisle, continuing the ceremony. So he's got this like crystal that he's removed from this old box.
Would Gandrin recognize what it is?
Maybe not, but you can roll a religious check to kind of get a better idea of what's happening, perhaps.
Oh, since it was a crystal, I was actually thinking his stone carving or whatever it is.
Oh, stone cutting. Yeah, you could possibly make a check. Go for it.
Remind me what I'm...
Just
Probably
roll with advantage.
Skills.
Yep. So skills would be history.
History. Okay.
Yep. And this is what the moonstone looks like, just so you guys see. Okay. So the stone itself, from your vantage point, since you can't really touch it and hold it, it does look like some sort of large crystal, although it seems otherworldly, as if like it comes from another time and place.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem very natural to this, to this region.
I'd like to make an Arcana check and see if,
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe there's something that I've heard of, or
Okay.
what do I do? I just click the number.
You can do that, but you drag and drop it into the dice tower.
Drag and drop it into the dice tower. Okay.
Yep, the number. Yep.
I think I did that.
Yep.
All right. Yeah,
Very
I want
good.
to see if I.
So, from what you can tell, it does look like some sort of magical artifact. Since you're not really able to examine it per se, but just on your cursory glance, you notice that it has many surfaces and that it collects light and seems to kind of bounce it back. And if anything, arcane in nature, and any of you that kind of look at this, kind of assume that it is probably protective in nature.
Okay.
So maybe a ward or something, or
sure.
But it also has a symbology to it as well. So it seems like it's a very important artifact to the village.
But it seems like they are surprised that he pulled it out, right?
The kids are.
The kids are. Okay. The adults are not as surprised?
No.
Okay, so all right. Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the kids are kind of in awe. They know of it, they've seen it, but they don't know much about it because they're still pretty young.
Yeah.
The adults are pretty used to it. They don't seem shocked, although they are all kind of, I wouldn't say mesmerized, but they're all kind of staring at it, so.
Cool.
So I don't know if you guys are still able to see the map, but the entire building is kind of lit up with candles along the posts that are the supports for the ceiling. And then you have the pews. There are two sets of staircases at the end. One goes down, one goes up. But there is a locked door it's not showing that. But when you get to the top of the stairs or down to the bottom of the stairs, there's a locked door. Those are, looks like a couple acolytes on either side are kind of watching those stairs, or at least standing there. And then there's a couple locked doors to the east on the north and south wall. There's two doors that are locked and barred from inside. It looks like maybe a service door, or perhaps, if there's a big festival or, something where they have to exit out, they can get out from that side. So anybody else got anything they want to say or add before we move on?
As a cleric,
Mm-hmm.
would Gandrin be able to sense anything?
Why don't you roll a religious check and check that aspect of it?
Now, since that's one of my primary things, do I click the Advan ADV or no?
No, you can just roll it. You can roll it in the dice tower, or you can roll it in the open.
Got it.
Either way. Okay, so from what you can tell, the words and some of the mystical language that he's speaking reminds you of some of your religious training in protection and wards. So you get the impression that the ceremony is mainly about protection and rebirth and such. You don't feel like it's anything ominous or threatening anyways.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like he's casting a spell on anybody. It's more or less seems like kind of like an overall kind of thing.
Okay.
Like more or less like a blessing in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I whisper so that our group can hear us and mention what you just said so that they know.
Rolf probably didn't hear the whole thing because that old lady is talking his ear off while he's trying to pay attention to
To
this.
do that.
He's
She's
way
probably
over there.
she probably doesn't she doesn't get to talk very much to anyone. Maybe her kids are grown up and gone or something, but she's elderly. Looks like she's been around for a while. She might have a missing tooth or something like that, but she seems to be pretty nice and well mannered.
Yeah, Rolf is looking around like a little kid. He's pretty excited to see everything. He's used to being under the fur in the snow, so this is a lot better.
Yeah, it is rather warm in here. I don't know if you guys have been outside in the cold lately, but you know when you come in and your skin kind of burns a little bit.
Tingles.
Yeah, kind of tingles. You kind of have that feeling initially when you first came in. It's been mostly the extremities, like your fingertips and the tips of your ears and maybe the tip of your nose. Not like frostbite, but you imagine if you stayed out there for several hours, you might suffer from frostbite. But
it's your body rewarming. It's the blood circulating.
That's right. But it kind of has that prickly feeling a little bit. Okay, so it seems like the ceremony is kind of unfolding in front of your eyes. There are several people kind of gawking at the moonstone, and they're watching the acolytes interact with Geriander. So there's probably maybe about 30-ish people altogether, temple, not including yourselves. But that includes the clergy and Geriander and the town mayor. His name is Leonid. So, kind of give you a picture of him. Seems like a jolly old boy. Doesn't seem like he's overly overbearing. He's probably a fair leader that has a good sense of humor, and he just kind of seems very accommodating and warm for a leader of his type.
Interesting sparsing of hair on the arms.
Yes. Kind of like the man's man, he's kind of got that, that kind of funny, kind of happy-go-lucky kind of attitude to him. Doesn't seem stuffy or militant. The two men suddenly burst into the doors to the west. They shout over the kind of interrupt the ceremony, and they say, "Help us, please, help us now. We require healing, and our friends are at death's door. The evils of the Darkwood are too many, too foul. Another ally outside is turned to stone. Yet I dare say that no one within these walls would fancy to face what lurks without." So there's a couple hunters that may have returned, because you guys had heard in the inn that there were some hunters out and about, and they hadn't returned yet.
Yeah. You said that they were visiting another village or something.
Well, that was the adventurers.
Oh, the adventure part. Okay.
Yeah, the Griffin's gatherers were, but they do work with the hunters. But in this case, they weren't around. Of course, conveniently, they weren't around. So
Gundren leaps up. Take me to him. I can help.
So you notice that they've drug in a guy that's bleeding quite profusely. All of the hunters look like they are breathing heavily, as if they had ran or they were struggling. They're a little bit wounded, like they were roughed up. The guy that they have with them, the guy in the center there, hunter number 5, he is wounded. Looks like he's suffering from some severe bruising. Would you make a medical check? All right, so your trained eye looks at these wounds, and considers them to be fairly serious. It looks like maybe some broken bones, some heavy bruising, perhaps some bludgeoning of some sort, like they were hit with a blunt object. And it definitely had some weight behind it. So concerning that they were attacked is, what your main concern was. The hunters seem to be kind of scared, like their body language tells you that they're freaked out. And normally hunters aren't like that. Like they're used to, being out in the wilderness and being alone, and they're trained. So it's kind of odd that they would act like this, almost cowardly.
They must have seen something. Can I cast Mage Armor on myself?
You sure can.
All right, let me do that first.
So all you have to do is drag the effect to your token, or you can drag it in the combat tracker on your entry. You just drag the little button.
Drag the button.
It's like a little shortcut link.
Yeah, and where do I bring it?
You can drag it to your token on the map, or if you don't have the map up, you can drag it to your entry in the combat tracker. Okay. You're the first one up there. So, and when you drop the actual button or the effect, it will add the C modifier.
Gotcha. I think I did that.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it on the combat tracker yet.
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Braylum. Yeah, I don't see it. So drag the little running man effect icon.
Yeah. Yep, I got that. Where am I dragging it to? I put it on
the combat tracker.
Where's that?
The two swords that are crossed, where all the initiatives are.
Yep. That's why it didn't work, because I didn't bring it over there.
Okay.
Or, sorry about that.
Since you were having trouble with the map, I figured it's easier for you to do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of not able to see the screen. I think I'd put it in there now. So, all right.
Yep.
So I cast Mage Armor, and let's. Is the temple under siege, or
you're not sure yet? But you do hear commotion outside.
Okay. Yep.
So
can I run outside and see what it is?
Sure. So I'm gonna lock the token movement. So you're gonna have to plot your path. When Fantasy Grounds won't prevent you from moving through your allies, or it doesn't limit you. So most cases your dwarf is going to move 25 feet and the rest of you 30. I think one of you has 35 feet, the elf. But nonetheless, when you move, you just can't land in the same square as another individual. And then if it's an enemy or somebody that's not an ally, you're not supposed to move through them. You have to move around them. You lose 10 feet if you plow through one of your friends. So if you move your token and you have to pass through somebody, you lose 10 feet for rough terrain, essentially. Fantasy Grounds will keep track of your movement, but if you move and then stop and then move later, and I approved it, it kind of resets the movement. So just to let you know. Okay, so Braylum, where would you like to move? I don't know if you can see the map or not, but you're sitting in the pews right now. The hunters are about 15, 20 feet away from you at the most.
Well,
to the north.
Me being a very frail wizard, I'm kind of Gudrun. I usually stand behind Gudrun, but Gudrun's like running out there, so I might hang around Rolf.
Okay.
In the background, I'm not going to be the first line rushing out that door, but I wouldn't mind, taking a peek. What's the commotion outside? So. Okay.
So do you want to head towards the doorway?
Yeah. But I'm kind of like right behind Ralph. Ralph, let's go check this out. Hopefully, Ralph will lead the way.
Yeah. So go ahead and pass your turn in the combat tracker. I don't know if you're able to with your laptop. But there's a down arrow on the combat tracker, and it looks like an arrow pointing down. It's on the frame of the bottom frame of the combat tracker.
Okay, yep.
So if you click on that, there you go. All right, Rolf. So he's kind of waiting to see where you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what the leaders of the town are doing. Are they starting to like pull the people out of here, or?
Yeah, so they're starting to file to the south, and they're going to head downstairs. There's a staircase to the southwest.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that the old lady makes it down there without getting trampled. I was talking my ear off.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
Then yeah, I'm gonna head up
Gentlemen.
the door.
Yeah. Oh, nice of you. So
Rolf really likes this town.
yeah, so you probably want to go south and then over because that's the direction of the staircase. If you're going to move help the lady. Yep. And then move towards your target. Yep. So you've escorted her to the stairs and kind of shoved your way in there so that no one tramples her and knocks her down the stairs.
And then I'm gonna wait until if anyone comes in or exactly what happens.
Okay. All right, Delian.
I'm gonna run outside and see what's going on. So I have
Okay.
35 feet.
Yeah, you can move 70 feet if you dash.
I just like run out and then stop and see what's going on and then decide what I'm gonna do.
Yep. So you can use the arrow keys to move, or you can try to drag your path.
I reset it because like mine froze and then now it's counting it as 5 when I haven't moved to the full square.
Yep. You can move from that. That's like a waypoint, so you.
I don't know how to reset my movement.
I can cancel it. There you go. Yeah, so you move and then you can move again from that point, from the waypoint.
Okay, so can I see outside from there or do I have to go a little further?
Well, the thing is when you're moving, that's going to move through the wall. It's not going to let you through there. So you got to go through the actual doors. So that's a wall. Yep. So go north and then into the doors.
So like there.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is you're going to get hung up because you just kind of went.
Well, I was doing it per square, but it just moved the arrow to where.
It's okay. I just moved you out. No biggie. All right. So you look outside, and why don't you roll a perception, please, in the dice tower.
In the dice tower?
Mm-hmm. All right, so you peer out into the approaching darkness, and you notice some like humanoid type figures outside. You're not sure what they are, but you're smelling them before you actually see them. So there's a foul odor in the air that's kind of wafting in on a light breeze, and you see these things. They look like they're humanoids, but as they get closer, they kind of have this really hideous kind of look and really smell like dead flesh coming from the outside.
So can I tell if they're dead?
Go ahead and roll again a perception.
To do it in the dice tower again?
Yep. You're not sure what they are, but they don't look friendly, and they're certainly not human.
Okay, can I see it? Am I able to attack anyone from where I'm at?
Yeah, if you step out maybe 5 feet, you can get a better vantage point. Yep.
Oh, so there's more. Okay.
So you have choices. So in Fantasy Grounds, you can target something to make it a little easier to pinpoint how far away they are. So what you would do is you would hold down the right control key and click on any one of the targets. And when you mouse over, it will show you the range.
It's not. It's just showing me zombie 1, 2, 3.
Right. But if you actually hold the right control key and click on one of the targets.
Oh, click on it. Okay, I thought it was just okay.
Yeah, it'll show you the range. And then if you want to make an attack on your actual character sheet, you can just double click the dice next to your longbow, assuming that's what you're going to use. And that does the attack roll. Assuming you're going to attack that target.
Yeah, can I Hunter's Mark the one I'm going to attack?
Yeah, you sure can. So what you want to do is the first button on the Hunter's Mark, you just click on that. That goes on you, which is an effect. It will add it'll automatically add the damage when you roll, for the damage. And then the second one is going to go on to the target. So you can drag the little button to the zombie number 1, and that marks the zombie. Well, you put it on number 5. You want to?
Oh, well, I was trying to do it on 5 because he's closer.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll untarget number 1 then.
I think I did it.
Okay.
And then I shoot him.
See, hold on a sec here. You have 2 people targeted.
I untarget?
You repeat the process. You hold down the right control key. There you go. Yep, just like that. All right, so now just double click on your character sheet where the dice is, the black dice. Yep, and you scored a hit. Now you just double click on the damage to the right of that, which says like 1d8 plus piercing. Yep.
Yeah.
And that added the extra damage in. So your arrow goes flying out and hits the zombie in the chest probably and kind of explodes.
Nice.
That tracker says wounded. Neat.
Yep. So that's how it keeps track of it. So you still have a little bit of movement left, and you can pass your turn unless you have some you already used your bonus action, so.
Yeah, I'll just duck into the building, get a little bit cover.
Okay. Fair enough. Cool. Very good. Now that target is still targeted, and you still have the effects on. So if you stay on that target, you don't have to do anything, but just repeat rinse and repeat, in other words, and move around. So go ahead and pass your turn to Gandrin. Okay. So Gandrin, you hear a scuffle going on outdoors. You see your friends kind of making their moves. And the hunter that is wounded is kind of laying at your feet, bleeding, groaning in pain.
Would it be too
Knock it
action to drag him further away from the door and then heal him?
I'll allow that. So
Okay.
as long as it's not far. So
I was just thinking like.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Okay.
Perfectly fine. I figure you won't be able to drag him that far because just because of the bulk of it.
Wounds, yeah.
But that's where he is now. So you've dragged him to that point. And what would you like to do?
There's only one plus sign next to cure wounds. Does that mean I can only do it once?
No, you have 3 spell slots.
Okay.
Which are up on top. So when you use your spell, you select or you click off one of those little bubbles, which is kind of by your weapons on top. But you can use it up to 3 times. But that would, that would eliminate most of the other things. The other thing you can do is perhaps do a medicine check to just staunch the bleeding. So you don't have to.
I didn't realize that could do that. Okay.
Yep.
I'll do that then.
Okay.
And that won't use up one of my spells.
Yeah. So you're able to patch him up and you drug him away a little bit from the entranceway to get him out of the way. You wrap his wounds and, kind of put a tourniquet on it. And you're binding his wounds.
Broken bones kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good way to do that without wasting your spell.
Okay. And then I'm going to say, Braylum, you might want to check and see if Dalian needs any help. I need to stay with this guy.
Yep, I'm right behind him. Way behind him.
All right, so go ahead and pass your turn. Yep. Okay, so one of the hunters moves south towards the stairwell where Rolf is hanging out.
Oh, so they're running away.
Yep.
He's hauling ass.
Yeah, he is. The other one's hauling ass too.
Rolf just gives them both a dirty look.
Cowards.
And Gandrin goes, "You're just gonna leave your compadre?"
They brought him to where the children were and then ran.
The guy that you're helping, Gundren, seems very grateful. He's kind of like, thank you. He has a burning torch in his hand that you're kind of worried that he might drop it. Or
Okay, I'll grab that from his once I finish patching
Yes.
him up. I'll take it from him so it doesn't like hit the ground and light everything on fire.
yeah. So what I'm going to have you do, since you have the torch in your hand, you can drag a torch effect, even though you have dark vision. You can drag the torch effect, provided you want to keep it lit, and it will light up the cathedral.
I do that.
Okay, so what you would do is if you have a torch effect, I believe, or a candle effect, which isn't quite what you want. So if you go over to the right-hand side of the interface under the tools, you'll notice an effects button, which looks like a person with stars around them. So this is in the interface.
Okay.
And you'll see lights. And all you have to do is drag the torch to your token or to the combat tracker. And that will add the torch effect to your
How's
character. Yep. And if you look at the combat tracker, well, you have it on twice now, but
Oh,
that's okay. So the torch will, there's rounds there for duration. So the Fantasy Grounds keeps track of how long the torch lasts. I don't think you're going to have to worry about it, but it does keep track of that. All right, so he thanks you and you got his torch. All right, so whatever these things are outside, Delian, you can hear them getting closer. Let me...
They sound like.
What's that? Yeah.
What do they sound like?
They don't really make any sounds. They're more or less shuffling. You can hear that. So they appear that you can hear them kind of crunching out in the snow, and they're getting closer to the entrance.
I can sense that the one with my mark is like right outside the door.
Mm-hmm. You can feel their walk, and you can hear the crunching in the snow.
would anybody else be able to hear it or just her?
Mainly her, because she's closest.
Right there. Okay.
And then you have another set of doors, kind of, it's kind of like she's
Well,
like in a
that's
little
true.
closed
I
area.
couldn't remember if they were both sets were open or just the one inside.
Well, they're both open, but it's harder to hear from where you're at.
Fair enough. Close the door.
You might have heard her. You might have heard her bow go think, though. You might have heard that part. All right, Braylon.
Yeah, it sounds like they're all coming through that doorway, right?
There's something going on out there. Commotion. Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to cast Grease.
Okay.
Right at that doorway, and I want them to hold the line.
Sure.
And I'll even step up there a little bit, but you know, as the zombies or whatever these undead thing, we're pretty sure they're undead, right?
Yeah. You do.
So
you think so?
Yeah. So, you know, they're not too stable anyway. Their dexterity is not. So hopefully as they show up, maybe they slip, they fall, maybe they can't move through the grease area. And when they fall down, maybe we get tax opportunity or get advantage on them, you know, so that they don't, they lose their actions, I hope. So I'd like to put it right in front of the doorway on the outside, I think.
Okay. So since you're not able to do this, I'm going to help you with it. So I'm going to right click on the map, go to pointers, and then I'm going to draw the square. I believe that's right. So this just kind of gives you an idea of whereabouts the grease would be. It has a 60-foot range, so you have no problem there.
No problem with the range. Yeah, I would probably want it. Yeah, right there, right at the door. You know, so that
drag the guy out of the way.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna be stuck in here.
Sounds like it.
Either that, or maybe you can leap over it. Are you nimble?
I don't think I can jump 60 feet.
Yeah. No, it's not bad. You might be able to jump over
60 feet?
No, that's 10 feet.
I thought you said it was 60 feet.
60-foot range.
Range.
Oh, okay.
I can do it 60 feet away,
cube.
But it's only a 10-foot by 10-foot, like a room, like a bedroom, you know? So what I wanted to do is as they come through there, whenever they move through there, they got to make a roll. Otherwise, they fall flat on their face. When they fall flat on their face, we get a free attack on them at advantage.
Yep.
So we have a really good shot of hitting them. So what I want to do is I want everybody to kind of, surround that area so that we could just let the zombie bodies pile up if there's, I don't know how many are coming through there.
Right.
Delian, just take a running start and skate through. Like a wee!
All right, Braylon. So I'm going to go ahead and pass your turn.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. And make sure you're checking off your spell slots if you're using spells. So that's on your character sheet near the top.
Yep.
So I know you've used grease.
I've used mage armor and grease right now. 2 first level spells. Yeah.
Yep.
What do I do on the main page?
No, on the actions tab. Near the top. Tab. Underneath your weapons, there's like little bubbles.
Yeah, I don't see where I could mark them.
There's spell slots near the top by the weapons, and then there's 3 little bubbles that says first.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Boom, boom. Yep. I see them now.
Yep. Like that.
Got them.
Yep. When you do a long rest, those recover.
Those recover, right? Yep.
Yep. Okay, so Rolf, you've escorted the lady, kind of squeeze your way past Braylon, and you notice this pile of grease form in front of you.
Okay, from where I am here, I'm going to throw a javelin at Zombie 5. See, that's within range, right?
Looks like it. Yeah, just target it and you'll see. Yep, looks like it. What is it, 30 to 60 feet? All right, so you huck that thing through the door, and it goes sailing out past the double doors and straight into the chest of this creature, and it blows up.
I'm going to re-roll my damage there. I have
no problem.
I have one of the... I'll have to look again.
Yep, you can do it. Go ahead and do your damage again.
Yeah, that's better.
All right. So let me fix the... That was Zombie 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just adjusted the... Removed 4 from it. All right.
Yeah,
so
that was Savage Attacker that allowed me to do that.
Yeah, so you can't do that again until your next turn.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Delian.
Okay, so is closing the door an action?
It's a free action, basically. It is an action, but it's a minor action, so you can close the door.
I first like to move there so I can see, and then shoot that one that I have targeted. Looks like he's on the verge of death. Or not.
That actually hit.
Oh, wait, it hit? Okay.
Must have a really bad AC.
Just so.
Wow. Okay, so that arrow
Dead?
kind of, yeah, it pierces through and it just kind of shatters and falls into a heap.
Now, can I move my hunter's mark to a different one since he died?
Yep. So all you have to do is re-drag that effect, the second button, to your next target.
Okay. How do I
That one's gone.
can't seem to grab it. Oh, it's gone.
Well, that's the one you killed. So on your character sheet, if you drag the hunter's mark from your character sheet, there you go.
And then I'm going to close both of these doors.
Yep. So if
Is there a way to bar the door?
Yeah, actually there is a like a slot, and there's a piece of wood that's standing upright in the corner.
I'm going to go ahead and bar it.
Okay.
Then I guess try to jump over this grease.
Okay.
What would that be? Dexterity?
Yep. You can do
acrobatics
or
Can
athletics.
Can I help because I'm standing so close?
You have
Catch
to be
me,
right next to
Tucker.
her.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah. I'll allow it since it's that situation.
I'm not sure where I could land because he's like right in front.
Well, listen, you're gonna land. It's just if you make it
Okay.
over the
You
piece,
might both land on the ground, but hey.
Yeah.
you're
All
gonna
right.
land, but you might not make it past the grease, and you might slip.
Yeah.
Right. Go
So
ahead.
it's acrobatics?
Just
Yep.
don't hurt yourself.
Or athletics, one or the other. Okay, so you take a running jump and you barely clear the 10 feet, and Rolf is able to help you. Rolf, did you apply the help action to her?
I did. I think I did it for to self.
Oh. Okay,
Oh,
nonetheless.
does that mean I get
dragged it over-
advantage?
Yeah,
Yes.
I dragged it over to her, but it didn't go on there.
I'll just roll it again.
Yep.
Much better.
Yay. So you jump over the grease, and Rolf was able to kind of usher you along, and you end up right there.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I grin up at you. Hey, girly.
Hey, girly.
Nice
Great.
jump.
Thank you. So I lost track now how much movement that was.
Not a lot, but I think you can probably move another 10 feet at the most.
Okay, I'll just move over here by the pillar and just ready my bow, and I'll just say, they're coming.
Okay. So go ahead and pass your turn.
I have to do that.
Okay. This guy is still really hurt, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still. I mean, he's not bleeding out. He's not going to get any worse.
Okay.
So.
That's a
But he's
great
still-
place to be in. He's not getting any worse.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, I'm going to turn my attention to what seems to be coming through the door because he's been paying attention to the wounded guy, so he knows something's up, but he doesn't know exactly what.
Correct.
So he is going to get his crossbow ready.
All right. So on your sheet, you can click the ready action. And it's just basically a marker or like a reminder. And what will happen is you declare, if someone comes into range, you shoot them. That's your trigger, basically.
Did I do that right?
Yep. See it. Yep.
Okay.
It's just an effect that will expire. It doesn't do anything mechanically. It just gives you a marker. So if you don't use it by the next time your turn comes up, it'll be gone.
Okay.
That's just
what I'm also gonna do, hold on, let me check something here.
Okay.
Nope, never mind.
Alright.
That's something that I don't want to use yet.
Okay.
So, question: even though I'm just setting myself ready for when they become, available to shoot, I'm not moving. Do I still? I mean, I know I still need to finish my turn, but when can I actually use?
When the trigger is met.
Okay.
So your trigger is
You-
if they come into view, into
Yes.
range.
If they come
Okay.
up that door in that doorway, you could just before
Yep.
they
So
get.
even if it's not my turn,
Yes,
got it.
because you're holding
Okay.
your action.
Perfect.
It's almost like a reaction, but not quite. All right.
Yeah.
So, Crazed
when I-
Hunter.
When I cast the grease too, I tell everybody, I was like, all right, everybody, get ready for them to come through the door. So hopefully the hunters, kind of, don't go through the door, but they kind of prepare for the zombies coming through on the grease.
Right. Okay. Well, I clicked it, but I don't see it changing the turn.
It's already did.
Oh, okay. I just don't see it on the
Right.
chat, I guess.
Just look
That's
at the
because
combat
it's an
tracker.
NPC's turn now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that would be why. Okay.
So the hunter is going to start crawling or trying to walk towards the south.
This poor guy.
Do they know something we don't? Because they're all heading in this direction.
Well,
They're
they're
trying to
following.
I would actually
Stairs.
say that out loud.
They're following the congregation or the rest of the people going down the stairs.
So they know something we don't. There must be something in that direction that's.
They're just hiding from the zombies down there. That's where all
Yeah.
the innocents are going.
All right, then we're apparently their last defense.
Listen,
Or second to last defense.
We're prepped at that entrance. I'm fine with that, but I know it's not our turn, but can we order the hunters? We need you to hold the door.
Yeah, you could say that.
All
Yeah.
right.
But they
So
didn't listen.
They don't listen? All right.
No.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right.
We can deal with them after.
Yeah. They're weenies.
Just
All right.
walk down the stairs and like, you cowards should be ashamed of yourselves.
All right. You guys hear like this concussion, like a poof kind of sound. And you kind of to your east, you hear like this poof, and there's this large looking, I don't know, how do you describe it? Like an energy ball that
Deer.
has materialized where Geriander was earlier. Geriander must be downstairs. You don't see him anymore. But this creature, whatever this thing is, this energy, it is certainly not something that you've seen before. It just has a really, really strange look. I'll share the picture with you.
Yeah, is it human sized or is it smaller?
Yeah, it's considered a medium thing, but it doesn't really have a body.
So
Okay.
it's not a portal, it's just a ball of energy.
As far as you can tell.
Okay.
It kind of
It's not a-
has it changes colors. It's kind of bright like a torch. The colors change a little bit, like modulating as it's floating there. And you can hear some weird airy voices, like more than one voice coming from it, and it does not sound friendly. It's kind of got
sound friendly. Oh
got
boy.
kind of a whispering, hissy kind of arcane type words or something. You're not sure what exactly it's saying. It's not intelligible, the language.
Well, if we don't think that it's friendly, Gundren does have a ready to action, right?
Yeah, but you had your trigger wasn't that. It was the zombies. You can't just change the...
No. I thought the trigger was whenever anybody, whenever he sees a threatening,
Yeah, you could do that. I'll allow it.
It's whatever you want,
Yep. Yeah, I'll allow it. So, Gundren, if you want to use your ready to action on the new threat, you're welcome to do so.
Okay. Quick question first. What is let me rephrase that. With regards to the spell slots, what is the difference between the domain spells and the spells level 1?
Okay, the domain spells are essentially free spells that you can have prepared. They still take a spell slot, but you don't have to prepare them, or you don't have to do anything special to gain access to them. So they are bonus spells that come from your domain. So
Okay.
those can be cast.
But they still take up a,
Yes.
a spell slot.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of them are bonus actions, by the way.
Okay.
But it's not your turn yet, so.
You're right. Okay. So.
Yep. All right. So the creatures that are outside,
Mm-hmm.
they are at the doorway, and they're thumping.
For held action on the.
They're thumping on the closed doors.
They're
So you
trying
guys-
to get in.
Yeah, you can hear them thumping and scratching at the doorway.
I'm worried about this glowy thing.
Yeah.
Did Gandra not get to use his held action on the thing?
He didn't. Do you want to or not?
Well, my held action was originally made for the zombies, but that was
Right.
before this thing showed
Yeah, we're
up.
giving you the pass on this. So if you want to use it, that would be great, because you can't really use it on the zombies because
Okay,
the door is closed.
In that case, yeah, I don't know that it's really going to cause it any harm, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to shoot a crossbow bolt at it. I seriously doubt it's going to do anything, though.
Well, if you want to, you can target it. So you hold down the right control key and click on the token on the map. Yep. And that also shows you your range. So now that you have it targeted, all you have to do is double click on the black die, which is +3. Yep. So it did miss. It flew kind of harmlessly through it, or next to it. So you kind of missed. Your aim wasn't true. I think you just kind of turned around at the last. Yeah, exactly. I think looking at this in my mind, you were dead set on attacking the zombies, and all of a sudden you hear this noise. You kind of turned around really quick and fired. So that's probably why it didn't
my
work.
trigger finger accidentally clicked.
Got a little excited, like,
damn
it! Yeah.
Right?
So, okay,
What the
Braylon.
hell is that?
All right, Braylon. So you see this thing materialize and come towards your group.
Oh, Braylon, I'm gonna take. Let me see. I'm gonna fire at that glowy thing, but I'm just looking to see what the spell is. I think it's Firebolt. Yeah. So what do I hold down to attack?
Okay. So you want to do Fireball, correct?
Yes.
So in this case, unless you're gonna, the only time you really want to target is if you're gonna consistently use this. So if you want to target it, you would hold down the right control key and click on the token. And if that doesn't work, in the combat tracker, there is a symbol that you can use. So it looks like you attacked, but it didn't target anything. So
okay.
So you want to drag that token to the enemy.
Yeah.
Or in the combat tracker, there is a symbol that looks like a target, and you can drag that to your enemy in the combat tracker. So you can either do it on the map or you can do it in the combat tracker itself.
Okay, so where's the Lantern Archer? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So it connects. Now all you have to do is drag the damage, the little icon next to the attack
same
roll.
thing?
Yep.
bring it right
Just
to.
drag and drop it on the. Yep. Ah. So it kind of
Really?
fizzles the hooded lantern Archon. It turns like a brief color of like black and purple when you hit it with the fire.
Okay.
So it kind of basically just pissed it off.
Gotcha. Am I within 5 foot of the grease?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure if something comes through there and they start falling down, I maybe get a free attack action with smash it in the head.
Yep.
Okay.
But you damaged it a little bit. But
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah.
You got its attention for sure. All right, so go ahead and pass your turn.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm so not.
It's all right. It's part of learning how to use the
combat
platform.
track. Yeah, the platform.
Okay, Rolf.
Okay, I'm going to enter rage. And I'm going to run at the lantern and attack with my great axe.
Okay, so that would be a dash action.
Dash, yes, dash action.
Yeah, so it's not a bonus action.
Oh,
so
yeah, so then I can't.
Right, not unless you had cutting action or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll run as close as I can. 30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay.
And attack with a javelin.
Okay.
Come on, roll.
Nice.
18.
Nice
Oh,
hit.
Boy.
It's okay now.
So that javelin goes flying and it pierces through the Archon, but it kind of passes through, but it also creates like a small temporary void, and it kind of flashes in like a purple and black light. So it responds to you guys when you guys touch it with something, or kind of like changes color.
Did I get the bonus for the rage? Did I do that correctly?
I think so. It looks like it's on. It says damage 4 melee, that's not a melee attack, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you threw that, so if you would have jabbed him with it.
Oh yeah, I clicked the wrong javelin. I clicked the one with the sword, not the bomb.
Yeah. Nonetheless, it's the same damage, but you wouldn't get the rage bonus anyways because it's not melee.
Yes.
But that's okay.
Okay.
I'll let it go. Delian.
Okay, so I can't move my hunter's mark until the thing it's on dies, correct?
Until what? Oh yeah, until the other one's gone. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shoot it.
Okay. Shoot it.
It was almost good.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to target him.
It's okay. You didn't attack anything. You got to drag and drop it.
But we can just. It didn't hit anyway, so I haven't targeted.
Yep. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Go ahead and pass your turn. Gandrin.
Since we heard voices and we could understand the voices, would it be safe to say that this thing understands our language?
That's a good question. I would go ahead and try. I mean, it's not going to hurt. It's free action, so you're not going to lose anything.
Okay. Because I'm thinking command.
Very cool. Okay.
How do I do that?
Okay, so you have the command button there. There is a saving throw associated. So you would drag the dice on top of the Archon, and we'll see if it saves. Once it does, then you can assign any one of those effects depending on what you want it to do. So let's do the saving throw first. So that's the dice.
Did I do that right?
Yep, it failed. So now what you do is you apply either grovel, or you can apply approach, or drop, or move away, or stop. Those are your commands. There's like 5 of them there. So you would just drag one of those.
Is it only for one round, though? Until my next turn?
Yeah, it looks
or
like
is it permanent?
It says duration 1 round.
Okay.
All right. So
I
it's
just basically
stopped.
froze it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's pretty good use of that,
we
actually.
get advantage on that?
It's not frozen. It's not
It just
advancing.
doesn't. Yeah, it's not advancing. It's not going to move closer.
Yep.
Or it's not going to move at all.
It's good use. Good.
That took one of my 3 spell slots, but it was worth it.
Since
I
you're
think
like
so.
you've been like the MVP, so go ahead and give yourself inspiration. So grab a on the top of your character sheet. There's a little dot next to your token. You got
Like
this
that?
little star. Yeah, so you can use that either for your you can use it for advantage either on yourself or one of your allies during gameplay. So when you're ready, you just let me know, and then you use ADV or whatever role you want to use it for, or you can pass that to one of your allies that's nearby.
Okay.
All right. Praise Hunter. Yeah, so you know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's probably crawling
Running
his way, dragging blood.
Yep. He hasn't left yet, but he's on his way out for sure.
Ungrateful wretch.
All right, so the hooded lantern is frozen. I mean, it's not frozen, but it stops and it just kind of hovers there menacingly, but it doesn't do anything. It just stops right there. So you basically bought yourselves a round.
Save me from
Okay,
some
That's
damage.
good because we didn't really hit it all that round. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of worked. All right, Braylon.
All right, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna fire a bolt. Let me see
Sacred
if I
Flame.
remember how to do this. There's a learning curve there. I'm gonna bring up the hooded lantern. I'm gonna grab the cast, put it on there. Come on, let's get a good hit. Come on, +5. 5 + 5
Oh,
is a miss.
oh, she's
Yeah.
gonna set the cathedral on fire.
yeah. Well, fortunately, we had this discussion the last time we played. We decided that
Don't hit Rolf.
the firebolt, if it misses, it's going to dissipate when it
Good.
as it flows. But if you had rolled a 1, I might have said, yeah, well, the fireball hits something and catches on fire.
Gotcha.
But that's the only point of failure. And I would make that more role play than mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
More for flavor. Okay, Braylon, pass your turn unless you want to move or something. Okay.
No.
There you go, Rolf.
All right, I'm
Got the
coming up
floor.
now.
All right.
And great axe to the lantern.
Nice. Thank you.
Has your rage dissipated now? Because you didn't get attacked.
No, it's
Well, no,
good
you
for,
attacked last turn. Never mind.
and I missed.
Dang. All right. Delian.
Okay, I'm gonna actually shoot him this time.
Now, you have to shoot through... it don't matter. You made it anyways. So
No.
go ahead and do your damage. Nice. So it kind of flares up, and when the arrow passes through it, the arrow does kind of... It's like it slowed the arrow down a little, but it didn't block it or anything. And it shoots
I'll
through
make it breeze past Rolf so it blows his hair.
Yeah. Whew. It goes right by his ear. Goes winging through.
It was going pretty fast. Sounded
Yep.
like it.
Whoosh. All right. Anything else? Okay, Gandrin.
All right. I am. Let's see. I'm going to knock a crossbow since that thing is.
Now, don't forget, if you have to shoot through your ally, you're going to have to put -2. So positioning does matter.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I'm raging. I say take the shot.
Actually, let me scoot up one so I have a better angle.
Okay.
All right, now.
Wow. You still have it targeted, so you don't even have to worry about it.
Oh, for pity's sake.
I knew what you were going to say.
The crossbow. What's wrong with this thing? Because it can't be me.
Yeah, it can't. Just can't.
You can't.
I think elves made this. You're like,
Right?
or something like that. Some kind of racial slur, I think. All right. So, anything else?
And Delian the elf raises her eyebrow at us.
All right. So the crazed hunter tries to pull himself up on the wall, and he actually pulls himself up and observes, like what's happening. And he says, "Oh my!" He's like, it's like he can't believe, what that is. And he's like, "By the gods, what is that thing?" He seems like kind of scared. And it seems like he's never experienced anything like it. And he's like, "Light, let the light come to us all." And then you can hear some people in muffled voices down below, like, shuffling around underneath the floor. Okay. So this nasty thing, whatever it is, it starts to turn like this reddish purplish color, and this black kind of dark ray comes out from from the center of it, like a laser almost.
Is right in its way. Oh dear.
And it blasts Rolf in the face, or in the upper part of his body. Fortunately, Rolf is kind of upset, so it helps a little, but not much. I don't think the rage helps with this, but just the toughness of your measure there.
It's the blue face paint.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be that. So the second ray that comes out of it goes over your shoulder. You kind of move aside, or in your fit of rage, it's not able to target you as successfully, and you avoid that blast. So this thing blasted him twice with like a dark ray of energy.
The zombies sound like they were making any progress on the door.
No, you can hear them thumping though, and you can hear them smacking. Like trying to force the door. The door opens outward, so they're kind of like pushing against it.
Oh, they're pushing a pull door. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So they're having a hard time. So whoever closed the door was pretty clever, and it's barred too. So even if they figure out the direction, they got to break the door down. So you've staved them off. Yeah. All right, Braylon. So you heard the hunter kind of freaking out over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of gonna blast it again.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a good roll and then a good damage.
Yeah, you do.
Come on. Make a good roll.
Nice.
19.
Well, it was almost a 3.
Yeah.
Right, come on. 1d10 fire. Come on, give me a 10. Give me a 10. Ready?
Or at least something better than a 1. Hey, 8. Not bad. We'll take it.
I'll take that 8.
Yeah. Very good. So
this thing has a lot of health.
Yeah, that fireball just kind of comes out of your fingertips, and it just kind of sails over, goes right past Rolf and right into it, and it turns this kind of flashes this kind of reddish orange color as the flames engulf it temporarily. So that's what it looks like.
Nice.
Yep.
It's still up?
Yeah, it is still up. It's still floating there. It's like hovering. It doesn't really have a body. It's just kind of like a ball of energy. Yep. Almost like a will-o-wisp.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might have been at first.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little bit bigger, you said, right?
Yes. And a little bit more substance to it. You want to pass your turn if you're done?
I always forget that. I'm so sorry, guys.
All right.
Go.
It's normal. Okay, Rolf. So that energy did not feel too good. It probably irritated you.
No, come on, finish it off, Rolf. Come on.
I'm going to move down to that position there and attack with the great axe again.
Okay.
Let's go.
Can really use a 20 right about now.
Yeah, bash that guy.
All right. So you're able to connect. You swing that axe two-handedly.
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh. So that two-handed swing just kind of like swipes right through it. It temporarily separates it, and then it kind of comes back together, and there's just like flash of energy. So you actually did something to it.
You were not happy.
No. Okay, Delian.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm just going to hit him again. Or should I move into flank so he can get advantage? I don't think I can make it in one turn, though. Is it even worth it?
I'm neutral.
I'm a ranger, so I'm just going to do my thing. I'm just going to shoot him.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
There we go.
Sweet. So this thing is getting whittled down. I mean, it's not as bright as it was earlier.
No.
It's kind of dimming down. Anything else? You want to move or anything?
I'm just going to say, it's time for lights out.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
And then my turn.
Gandrin, I like you guys' one-liners. Lights out time.
The cleric actions and effects. Does that take up a spell slot?
Actions.
I'm thinking
and effects.
specifically the channel divinity.
No, in this case, no.
Okay.
You can use it. It looks like, yeah. So, but you can only use your channel divinity once per day, type thing. But being that it's just a guided strike, you can make this choice after you see the roll, but before the DM says whether the attack hits or misses.
Okay.
So
Then I will go ahead and. Oh yeah, I'm not going to use it.
of course, it hit. And
Yay.
go ahead.
Come on, finish them.
Guided strike.
What
Go ahead.
this
Just roll your damage.
is that it?
I
Okay.
think so. Yep. Yay! The click, and it goes pop, and then it kind of fizzles.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right.
What, did
You
we kill
guys are. It looks like you're getting close.
Oh, I thought it fizzled out.
That's
No,
what I thought too.
Imagine if that hunter just summoned up his courage and he got the final blow.
I would have to bop him in the forehead and knock him out. Healer.
And then
no
he goes
healer.
around telling all his friends at the bar, "Hey, I killed this giant energy
Of
orb."
course. All right. So
His friends all left him behind, though.
It tries to it kind of, its energy starts to kind of seep towards you, Rolf. You feel this overwhelming sorrow,
It's a Dementor.
but it just kind of takes over you. It consumes you. It makes you feel like almost like useless, kind of.
Oh dear.
It makes you feel like, I don't know, maybe tired is the best way to describe it, since you're raging. But it has a kind of a paralyzing effect on you.
Like,
So you're kind of frozen for the time being. So let me drag that over to you. So you feel temporarily sorrowful, and you don't really feel like fighting right at the moment. So it's really not, it's a magical effect, but it's called a weeping paralytic attack. So it kind of makes you feel sad, but it's not like you're crying or anything like that. It can't change your stoic emotion, but
Rolf
it
doesn't cry.
yeah,
Would I lose my rage?
potentially, yes. So if I would say that if it doesn't hit you in the next round, then your rage is going to go away. All right, Braylon.
All right, you need another good damage like last time. Let's do Firebolt. Drag it over here. I thought I grabbed it. Maybe I didn't. There we go.
Right.
Drop it over there. Come on. Give me a good roll. Nope.
Ah.
Nope.
Just when you thought you had it made.
Yeah, I had a good roll last time, so I think I pressed turn complete.
Yep. Okay, Rolf, so you can't move. That doesn't mean you can't say anything. You just can't budge. You can't move, you can't attack. You can say something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just tell my guys to tell my team to just continue
Okay.
hitting at it.
Okay. Okay, Delian.
Okay.
Notice Rolf is kind of frozen there.
Yeah, I'm like, Rolf, what's wrong with you? Get out of it.
Yep.
And then I shoot it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Little by little.
Yep, you're whittling it down.
Just shooting arrow after arrow after arrow after arrow.
Gandrin missed. Just click, and this bolt goes flying out and hits the back of the church somewhere. Click.
Damn elven ingenuity.
I snap back. If it was dwarven, it'd be made of stone.
If it was dwarven, it would work.
Do you guys play in a different game together?
Oh.
We're mother-daughter.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. All right. So the Crazed Hunter just moves a little bit more. It's kind of like sliding up against the wall, holding himself up. It's got this torch. No, he doesn't. You have the torch.
I have
So
the torch.
he is essentially just kind of making his way down the stairs as quickly without hurting himself, like falling. Okay.
I've fallen.
All right.
You
so
can stay there, coward.
yeah. So the energy ball, or whatever you want to call it, the Lantern Archon,
The mentor.
it flashes like this kind of radiant, kind of orangish yellow color, and it appears to be perhaps reviving itself a little.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, Braylon.
He just basically healed himself, huh?
Little.
That's not. Yeah,
Yep.
that's not good. That's not good. All right, let's. Come on, I need a good roll. Stop giving me these 4s. Come on.
Hey, that's better than a
+5.
4.
That's a hit?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
All right, come on. Give me that 10. Give me that 10.
Big money, no whammies.
No way. Right.
Oh!
Oh,
And it absorbed it.
it.
Oh my
because of
god.
the temporary hit points.
yeah.
Damn it.
We gotta whittle them down, so.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, better than nothing, but still.
That means we're getting close if he feels like he has to false life himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Rolf, so you lost your raid, so unless you want to reactivate it.
No, I'll save it for these zombies. I'm just gonna attack with the great axe.
Okay, so remove the effect from the combat tracker. There you go. That'll learn you. Don't mess with me. Wow.
Hot damn.
That was
Partially
cool.
absorbed.
He's mad about feeling
So
sad.
now all of his jump hit points are
How
gone.
dare you make me look weak?
Exactly. I can see him looking like that. Like, ugh.
All right, what do you say? What do you think I can finish this off?
I hope so.
My elven bow.
You got this. You got this.
Little emphasis on Elvin.
Right?
What am I talking about?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
It just went whoosh past my ear. Hey!
Dang
That
it.
was my head.
How is he still alive?
He's fizzling and popping. He looks like
I
he's.
wanted the final blow.
Come on, Gandrum.
Lord,
Go!
Andrew's
Go!
choking.
that's it. I'm done with the crossbow.
You've had it. You're done. All right. Craze Hunter disappears downstairs.
Ungrateful coward, he mutters.
All right. So the
What was the
Archon, he does this.
If I will get the final blow.
He attacks with the Dark Ray again.
Who's he
Yeah.
attacking?
He attacks
boy.
Rolf.
Yeah.
Not like you very much.
Yeah.
Well, he's also the closest.
Yeah. And he's right up in it.
Is Rolf dying?
Why would he be?
Status dying.
Wait a minute. It targeted itself. I'm going to let it roll.
Oh my god.
It killed itself. No one gets the
Oh my god.
That's awesome. It refused to allow any credit to go to us.
Oh,
Thing is,
wow.
close to death.
Yeah, it really was.
That's amazing.
It just went, it went poop and it it
Oh
just
my
zapped
God.
itself. I let it ride.
That's
Just gave up.
that is amazingly awesome. Oh my god, I love it.
It probably shot the ray and it bounced off the floor and hit it or something stupid like that. Like, or it hit
Something
the
so freaking ridiculous.
or maybe it hit one of the posts behind Rolf. There's a something that holds the supports the ceiling.
Oy,
So-
oy, 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 oy.
Yeah, I went pew pew. Like went back at it.
Absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. God, I love that.
So it winks out of existence in like a puff of a bright flash. It just goes
Le
away.
poof.
Yep. And you can hear the zombies still
Boom, 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 boom.
thumping away on the doors.
He
So
has- We just leave him there until the morning?
we
They can't see
probably
me
could.
through.
We probably could. So let's use this opportunity to take a short break, a real bio break.
Yeah.
So you gotta use the restroom. We got maybe an hour tops. So maybe we can do a short rest since the zombies aren't having much success getting in.
I was gonna ask, does it look like there's any dents or anything in the door, or are they still looking
No.
pretty solid?
This looks pretty solid.
Yeah, then they're not getting in.
So I'm gonna do a short rest on the party and allow you guys to kind of recollect yourselves. You can use your hit die recovery. It's on your main page. So if you have any damage, you can double click on your hit die recovery and that will give you some healing. So you don't have to use up your potions or your spells. And
Sweet.
then Braylum, you can recover. I think you can recover one of your spells if you use Arcane Recovery.
Nice. Yep. We'll definitely do that.
So
I can't do that though, can I?
no, you don't have Arcane Recovery.
Damn.
You'd have to do a long rest. So we just did a short rest. You guys can use your hit die recovery, which is on your on the main tab on the very bottom, and roll that once.
The very bottom.
It's HD. You click on the die down there, it will heal your whatever it rolls.
Oh, I don't have any. Okay.
Deline only has one wound, so I don't know where that even came from.
I was wondering that too.
I'll erase it. Might have been accidental. I don't know. Okay, so go ahead and take a break. Let's be back here in about 10, so 35 after.
Sounds good.
There.
See you in a few.
Okay,
All right, awesome.
bio break. All right, folks, we are back from break. Hopefully you guys were able to chill for a little bit. So we left off where we had just defeated it's actually defeated himself, the Archon, which did materialize, right inside the cathedral, which is kind of alarming. And then there's still a kind of a horde of zombies outside. They were looking for a way in. Apparently, they have stopped since you guys have taken a short rest. The zombies are no longer near the temple, so to speak.
My hunter's mark still on one of them?
Probably not anymore. We can probably drop that.
Is the grease still there? Because if not, I'm gonna.
No, I'm gonna get rid of that. So we'll get rid of the grease.
Okay, can I just go over and put my ear to the door and see if I can still hear them?
Yes.
Yeah, the grease only lasts, I don't know if it's 1 minute or 10 minutes. It's not a long time.
Yeah. So you kind of, you point yourself towards the door. You put your ear up to the door. You don't hear anything other than some distant shouts. So nothing nearby.
I don't know if I should open it. Say I don't hear anything.
Someone just coughed. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we got to go down and see where everybody's going. I mean, I didn't really.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really want to join them. I don't want to trap myself in with a zombie horde attacking us. But if it seems like they're moving away from the cathedral, then let's go check and see what's going on with them.
Okay. So the jury under comes upstairs, and he looks around and, is anyone hurt?
I'm slightly hurt. I have 2 hit points down.
Okay, so he's going to come over. He's going to come over and finish your healing off for you, and he's going to congratulate all of you and thank you for helping to protect the church from that horde of undead. He does proclaim that they are some sort of zombies. The trouble with it is that they are from the corpses of some hunters that have been missing for a year or 2.
Oh, shoot.
So he doesn't like that. And that Archon thing was pretty unexpected. Normally, the crystal would protect the cathedral from stuff like that. So something very powerful is afoot. And he's very concerned about that.
Didn't he take the crystal with him when he went down?
Yeah. But he's saying normally, though, the ceremony would prevent these type of things from happening. But he feels like, like he's done a disservice, and he apologizes to all of you for having to deal with that. He actually is going to he's going to hand you guys a couple healing potions in case for future use if needed, as kind of like a way to repay you guys.
We'll take that.
Yeah, so in Fantasy Grounds, there is a thing called the party sheet. If you look at the tools on the upper right-hand side, it looks like 3 people standing together.
Yeah.
If you open that up, there's a few tabs there. One of them is an inventory tab. So I grabbed that and put this in the party sheet. And anyone who wants to claim that, you would drag that to your inventory tab on your character sheet. So if you open your inventory and you drag the little link from the window for the party sheet, it'll deduct one of those potions from that parcel
Rolf should definitely get one.
Okay, so Rolf, if you want to, I don't know if you're able to, but it will deduct. You drag the link or that red. If you're at a party sheet, you got the party sheet open?
Who, me? Rolf?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll grab one.
All right. So yeah, drag and drop that onto your inventory. Now there's one left.
I'll take it. Where do I put it?
You go on your character sheet. There's an inventory tab.
Drag it in.
Yep. Then you drag the link if you can. I don't know if your mouse or whatever will let you, but you drag and drop it into your equipment
Into
list.
your inventory tag.
Yep.
Okay.
It has not been identified. It just says potion.
I'll fix that shortly. Are you able to drag it there, Raylan?
I don't think so.
No, it still has one in the party sheet.
Okay. I'll do it for you since.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's probably because you don't have a mouse, so.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it, but I don't know.
Yeah, you would drag it to your sheet, but I got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
There it is, potion of healing. I see it.
Yep. All right. So he gives you guys the potions as kind of like a repayment or a way to kind of compensate for your troubles. He feels like he's let the town down in a sense.
Well, it's your hunters who let down the town.
Yeah, about that. The hunter said that there was an attack that occurred. He's able to calm them down temporarily and get them to speak. He said that they attacked them right as they were coming back from the hunt, and these creatures had followed them to town, and they thought they lost them, like that they had put enough distance between them before they went into town, but apparently these things were hell bent on following them, so they weren't able to throw them off or anything. These things just kept coming, and when they got here, they realized that these things weren't stopping, so they came to the cathedral because they knew everyone would be here for protection and such. They felt like that they would have some sanctuary here. The hunters normally don't have this kind of issue. They're usually pretty brave and strong, but in this case, they've never seen anything like this, and they're freaked out. And to be quite frankly, it seems like this is something that we have to be wary of. He basically feels like he's kind of let you guys down, and he's hoping you guys will stay. Mayor Leonid steps up, comes up out from the stairs below, and says, "Thank you for helping us quell that chaos." And he's looking around. He has his weapon out, his axe, and he says, "We will unsheathe your blades again, stout fellows, and we will rain ruin upon those that try to, to wreck our town and blight our consecrated grounds here in the cathedral."
Can I do an insight check on the guy who said he wanted us to stay? Do I believe that he really wants us to stay?
Jerry Ender? Yeah, go ahead. His body language tells you that he genuinely wants you to stay, although you get the feeling of concern, like worry, kind of.
We're gonna leave. Okay.
So he wants you to stay, but it looks like it's kind of conditional, like maybe he feels remorseful that you guys have come this time during these troubled times.
Yeah, he didn't let us down. He did what he did and protected the women and children from the invasion.
Mm-hmm. Most of the villagers aren't set to fight like that, especially against undead creatures. He felt like his priority was to get everyone out of the way, and he wasn't sure who was going to be up here left over, but he's grateful that all of you chose to remain behind and to deal with the threat. He hopes that the potions help, and that they show a token of good faith, and that they're not trying to be cheapskates about this whole thing. And they really want you guys to join their their town, and they want to ask if any of you would like to participate in their community and become members of the town. They're thinking about building kind of like, not really a barracks, but kind of like a, because they already have one of those, but they're thinking about building a lodge for you guys, if you guys don't mind sharing a dwelling. And they'll have it, start it in the summer, and they'll build a place for you guys to call your own. And then you can also have your own individual places if you want.
Gandrum takes in a deep breath. I'll be willing to stay for a time. I don't know if it'll be permanent, but I'll try a probationary period.
Can't really stay until we figure out what's behind these attacks. We need to solve this problem.
Is true. This is true.
He agrees. He kind of understands your position, and he's, kind of like wishing that things were in better terms and such. But he says, we do need people like you. We've had another group who had come through here that had gained some prominence in town. This is Griffinwind's Gatherers. Unfortunately, they are not, available now. But they are looking for more recruits for their band. And they were thinking about setting up a training headquarters for adventurers and such to basically kind of like a trading post, but also a place to train and to stay, and kind of like a guild hall. They kind of wanted to make this a thing, so when when people graduate from, if they're sick of being farmers or hunters or whatever, they can join this guild where they would receive training from veterans, and it'd almost be like an adventurers guild, so to speak. That was their plans. We don't know if they're going to stay to that or not, especially in light of what's just happened. And we don't even know if they're safe or what. They haven't returned in a while.
Where are they going?
They went to the next town, which is probably about a day and a half travel from here. They were looking into a disturbance there as well. We don't know what the nature of the disturbance was, but it was certainly enough to where they felt obligated to go and check it out, because it's along a trade route between us and the other town. So they decided that they would take that on themselves, and it's like 6 of them. And he lists off their names. None of them sound familiar to you. But Myall Griffinwind, Gold Sneezer, Gregor Hawthorne, Thyron Warstriker, and Sven Silvermane. That is their names. They have all come as you have, but they've been here for about a year. And they're making a name for themselves in the area.
Like us to try to find them?
That
Perhaps
might be.
Perhaps this is the cause of the disturbance.
That's true. And he kind of looks at the rest of you, and the hunter that you guys had helped earlier, he comes back upstairs, and he seems very apologetic, and also seems very very happy that you helped him. That's a kind of a picture of him.
Is he a dwarf?
He kind of looks like it, doesn't he? It doesn't say, but you could say he is. He feels like he owes you a debt, and he'd like to know if there's any way he can repay you. He does have some skins and furs that he's collected over the season. They'd be willing to donate or give to you for sale, till you can sell it. They will fetch a pretty good price if you guys decide to sell off the skins. And then also your choice of meat. They hunters do have pretty good access to some fresh meat, so they hunt like deer and elk and moose and stuff like that. So
The dwarf kind of perks up at food.
yeah. So what do you guys think?
Sure, I'll take some skins.
Okay.
Take some food.
All right. So the Gerryender sends some of the clergy and a couple of townsfolks outside and around the perimeter of the temple. You get the all clear that there are no menacing threats, and the remainder of the undead zombie-like creatures that look like they may have been previous townsfolk have been rounded up and destroyed and put to rest. So they have taken out the rest of those undead and they've put them to rest, gave them a proper burial. So that is a development that it's occurred in the last couple hours. Anybody else got anything to say?
No, I think we're all in.
Okay.
What time of day is it right now?
It's evening. It's dark. It's been dark for a bit. The Vigil of Light generally starts when the sun goes down, and they usually try to keep the ceremony going till the dawn. A lot of the children end up falling asleep during the proceedings, but they stay up all night essentially, and they have like this banquet breakfast type thing, and then they all go home and sleep basically. That's kind of how this traditionally went, but since the ceremony was interrupted and you had all these kind of revelations here as to some danger, that may not be a thing this time.
Well, what say you? Shall we try and go to this next town and see what's what?
And maybe after we sleep.
I could use a little food in my belly first, truth be told.
Gerryender has the box in his hand, the one that had the crystal in it.
Mm-hmm.
And he opens the box, and it's empty.
Oh boy. The moon
Did you
shot.
drop it?
He puts his hand on his head. He looks like he's turning 50 Shades of White. He doesn't know what happened to it. He handed the box to one of his acolytes while he was trying to usher people downstairs to safety. And then he grabbed the box back recently. So
Let's talk to the acolyte.
A dingus.
Okay,
Talk
so
to all of
One
them.
job.
yeah, one frickin' thing. Okay, so you guys start talking to some of the townsfolk in the cathedral. They actually do like a search to see if anyone has it. And the last person to have it is not there. And they're wondering what the heck is going on. So you guys kind of search around in the cathedral and you find a set of acolyte clothing that sits on the ground. And it appears that somebody had disguised themselves as an acolyte.
No way. The one guy that was pretending to be injured?
You got
No
it.
way.
Oh my god.
No way.
He's got like a 2-hour head start on us too.
Yep.
No
I'm
way.
gonna kill him myself.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm so with you right now.
The Gerryender guy is embarrassed. He feels like an idiot. He goes, he's so frustrated and pissed off right now. He's like normally calm and collective and he doesn't lose his shit, but he's losing his shit. So he's pissed. And the rest of the townsfolk seem really afraid, like alarmed. And they start murmuring like, oh, does this mean that, we're going to suffer from these attacks continuously? And, like the rumors and the fear is kind of growing as you guys are contemplating what the hell happened.
Can I look around where the clothes were dumped and see if I can
Sure.
see any tracks?
Sure. So do an investigation in the dice tower.
Oh, hold on, I covered it for some reason.
It's all right.
Someone with persuasion might want to talk to the crowd and calm them down.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you start digging through the clothes and the clues and the evidence. All of you kind of help. And you find that whoever had this costume on, or this clothing, that they had cut themselves out of it, like quickly, like with a blade. So whoever it was that had the costume on, they didn't even take the time to undress. They just cut themselves out of the costume, or out of the
Do I
borrowed
see any
clothes.
tracks on the ground?
Yeah, there's tracks that lead from the cathedral out to the. It heads in the direction of the forest where all these creatures
Out the
came
front
from.
door?
No, out of one of the side doors. During the commotion, somebody slipped through.
I'm thoroughly annoyed and just kind of push my way through the people past the guy who's flipping out and out the side door. Well, the sooner we get this situated, the sooner we can eat.
That's true.
Well, I have some rations.
Yeah, but she's talking like a sit down,
meal.
ale
With
and
beer
rest.
meat
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
yes.
Not
kind that
trail
puts you-
rations.
The kind that puts you into a food coma.
Yep.
Okay. Now, shall we go after him?
Well, Gandrin is already out the door. So.
All right, we'll follow Gandrin then.
All right, so that would conclude the adventure for now, because that is basically the start of the campaign.
Nice.
So logically,
Pretty
you would pursue whoever it is that stole this crystal and go from there. And it leads in further and deeper into the adventure. So if you guys were going to play or run it, that's kind of how it. This beginning part is a lot of ad lib, and it's put together kind of loosely, so the DM kind of has to interpret, how they want to run it and such. Run this a couple times. It kind of plays out the same, but not always. I know that Rolf here played, Friday?
Yeah.
It's
Friday.
kind of the same, right? Not exactly, but
Yeah. It was it was completely different though. The battle scene was.
Mm-hmm. So this adventure was written by AAW Games. This is Jonathan Nelson and his crew. It started off as kind of like a homebrew thing, I believe, and then he just kind of expanded it there, and his friends helped him, and they just kind of built this entire setting and their own world. Now they have their own business and their own company where they sell product like this.
Nice.
And a lot of it's related to the campaign setting. So Rybalka is also in other modules. So you could essentially play 2 or 3 adventures, in Rybalka and the surrounding areas before taking on this one. This is like the big daddy, the Rise of the Drow Collection Edition. But there's also a Darkholme series, which is if you're a dwarf, you could play one of the dwarves from the kingdoms under the ground and start from that angle, so you don't have to necessarily start in Rybalka. And then there are several little one-shots that are loosely tied in with the setting. So you could effectively run an entire campaign out of their setting. I mean, they got some pretty nice area maps of the region, and they're detailed. So like if you wanted to come from a different country, that sort of thing. They recommended running this with first level characters. I chose to create second level because I wanted a little bit more survivability and some features, so you guys don't just have like one spell or something like that. And the other thing is that survivability, of course. And I wanted you guys to have a few more things to look at, because when you have a very minimal character, it is a little overwhelming in Fantasy Grounds at first. But I wanted you to see the capabilities of it, And it is kind of clunky at first until you get used to where things are at, how to access them, and obviously you found out you need a mouse, those sort of things.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget to turn in your tickets.
Yep. And then you got the just the benefit of the doubt that Fantasy Grounds is not perfect. There, it has its quirks, but it works pretty good. Like, it does a lot of automation and such. It just takes a little bit to get used to it. A lot of people want that instant satisfaction, but if you put in a little time with it, it gets a lot smoother and funner to use. So, I mean, I've used Roll20 and Foundry. The only thing I could say in difference to those, just that I can speak on, is that Fantasy Grounds is self-contained. So if you were to take it camping and you just had a couple batteries, you could use it for your library and kind of run your games with it without hauling all your books up there. And bring some real dice and print off your character sheets. Kind of run it that way. That way you're not cut off from your content. You don't have to be online. I guess that's the only biggest thing for me, is I don't necessarily want to be cut off from my content. So if I don't have internet, I don't have my Roll20 or any of that stuff, or even D&D Beyond, because I don't have access. So does that happen very often? Probably not, but if it does, I don't have to worry about it. Anything else you guys want to add or say? Or
no, that was enjoyable. I never really used Fantasy Grounds, so you were able to really help me download it and get everything on there. So I'm really impressed with that.
Yeah, we do that here in this community. If you guys want to, you don't have to stay, but if you want to stick around, whenever you use Fantasy Grounds, you can come here and ask for help. And
nice.
We do classes and seminars and symposiums and all kinds of stuff. So we're kind of more of a learning community. So we don't work for Smiteworks or anything like that. So we're just kind of volunteers. We kind of use this platform as one of our go-to tools for running games, and kind of built this whole community around, initially around frustration and trying to figure it out, the platform. But we've learned a lot of the workarounds and some of the best practices and what not to do. So that's kind of where we're at. We don't know everything, but we know enough to be dangerous. So
that was enjoyable.
Good.
Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
Thanks for running it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool to have you guys show up, and nice to meet all of you. And I hope in the future that you give Fantasy Grounds a couple more tries before you give up on it. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good platform once you get your mind wrapped around it.
Nice.
So.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Great playing with you. It's been an interesting GenCon. So,
yep.
Have a great.
Take care.
Good gaming.
Game, folks.
Take care. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.